Hey, what's up, guys? It's me again, and welcome back to my channel, Mayta. What Ifs. Today, I am back with a new movie. The name of this movie is What If Olympians Redid one of their own Naruto's. And yeah, guys, it is an unscripted movie and my own idea. Now, before continuing this, yes, it is inspired from the fan fiction known as Olympian reads one off, and it is basically every god reads about Naruto being their son. It is my version of that, and some of it is inspired from that story. You should check it out. It is on fanfiction.net. Anyways, moving onwards, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to both of my channels. And yes, this is the only story that is going to be posted today. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, enough said. There's one more thing that I need to address. The idea that I posted on Apollo Chia channel yesterday, I mentioned Jimmy's name instead of Spidey's. Sorry, Spidey. I kind of in a hurry said the other guy's name. I mean, he also just cool ideas, but it was yours, which I'm quite sorry about. Anyways, that is a correction that I need to make surely, and I will in the future. And I promise that I swear that this won't happen ever again. Hopefully, finger crossed. I am a human, I still tend to make some mistakes. Anyways, enough said. I have yippee long enough. Without any further ado, let's begin with our today's movie. Our story begins in Mount Olympus, above New York City, where we see all the gods were recited in their throne room. And as usual, they were bickering about minor stuff that has been bothering them for over the course of millennia. That is until there was a bright light and a book fell on the king of gods, Zeus's head. As now we see, Zeus was pissed. Athena, did you drop that book deliberately on me? No, why would I? Those books are way too much precious to be thrown over your head. As now we see, Zeus crumbled over his war muffin but didn't say anything. As now we see, Athena was the one to pick it up with that rolled over her eyes because the others couldn't be bothered to do so, as that is when her eyebrow rose. Well, that is interesting. As Demeter then said, what is it? Please don't leave us hanging, Athena. Come on, tell us. As all of the other gods also looked at her and the book title with curiosity. It says that it's about a boy named Naruto who is basically demigod of all of us here. Wait, what? Said Zeus, as well as Hera. I won't have a demigod, neither would I, and neither would I, said Hestia, as well as Artemis, while the others, they were kind of okay with that. Even my son? Yes, even your Dionysus. As now we see, before she could begin, there was another note that appeared and materialized in front of her. What is it this time? Said Zeus. Well, it says that we will be sending some people here from Fates. Fates? Ah, should have known. It would be them, no one else who would mess with us like this. As now we see, there was a bright light, and there stood teenagers who looked to be demigods. Poseidon, you broke the oath, said Zeus, roaring. As that is when Poseidon pointed towards Thalia Grace, who was standing there alongside with Jason Grace. As Hera's eyes widened, as he grumbled and looked down, and that is when Hades was also present there as well, alongside with Persephone, his wife. And not only that, Nico D'Angelo, as well as Nico and Bianca D'Angelo were also there as well. Hades, your children. I had them before the oath. That is all I'm going to say. As now we see, Hestia then said, enough. I won't have you three bicker about the children. Now please, demigods, would you be so kind to introduce yourself to us? Wait, you don't know us? Asked the green-haired boy. Of course we don't, boy, because you were brought here from different timestamp, it seems. As Athena was the one that said this. Oh, my name is Percy Jakson, and I'm son of Poseidon. Annabeth Chase, son of daughter of Athena. Thalia Grace, daughter of Zeus. Jason Grace, son of Jupiter. Ha! Take that, you big oaf. Not once, but twice. Twice! What do you have to say for that, sister? Said Hades. All I can say is that, brother, to hell with the three of you. As now we see, bit by bit everyone introduced themselves, such as Lacey, Selena, and finally, they all settled down. As after they were told that they were here to read about their brother. As Athena then finally opened the book and materialized her story. It says here that each god has to read about his own son. As now we see, interested, both Annabeth and Athena then begin to read. As they saw that A screen materialized in front of them, in which a boy with blonde hair and blue eyes was seen, with tan skin, and he looked quite serious. He had Athena's gaze and glare as well, and right now he was standing in front of his mother. Wait, what? Why in front of me, of all people? As Athena looked down. Seriously, Mom. I would have thought that you have by now let those Roman bastards go because of your grudge. Seriously, I don't get it. What's with you and all these mortals? Lord Zeus acts like a child as there was a thunderboom. Yeah, I don't care, Grandpa, said Naruto, as Zeus grumbled. Insolent child. As that is when, he then said, it continues to, well, betray the trust of Grandma Hera, who, by the way, is my, well, patron. As Hera's eyes widened. Wait, what? As Athena also looked and breathed as if she wanted to clarify those words. I don't understand. As Athena looked down, like she was being scolded by her parent, no the other way around. As after that, we see Naruto sighed. Seriously. This time, Annabeth, you have forgotten what happened to the previous ones. Either they were killed or died because of your foolish quest. I denied that because I knew I wasn't stupid enough to do that. Heroes. If anything, Lord Zeus, Poseidon as well as Hades don't like their domains challenged, so yeah, they would strike and smite us down before we even do something of that occur. At least the boy has a good head over his shoulder. As Athena sighed. Why were his child, the first thing he was doing was scolding her, while Apollo, Hermes, Ares, and Hephaestus even was laughing, and even Artemis, Demeter, as well as Hera, who was quite surprised that this boy was her champion, was quite surprised because this boy was making a lot of sense. The only good goddess that you have is Hera because she is loyal, and then there is Hestia because she is kind to everyone. I'm not that bad, said Athena. You say that, but what about your mess with Poseidon, Mom? How many of you have dragged us, both of you, pitted against one another? And for the first time in millennia, when that poor girl and that bastard of a boy were finally able to reconcile and somewhat got closer to mending the broken relationship between you, what do? Send your daughter on a quest. As that is when Percy glared at Athena, but Poseidon didn't take nicely of him, alongside with Percy being called bastard. Seriously. You have to grow up as an adult, Mom. Act up. That is why I'm here, son. I need your help again. Yeah, and what about these secret agency that I'm running because of you? FBI can wait. Wait, what? Said everyone. As Ares smiled. Your son is the leader of the feds? The head of the department? Who knew? As Zeus was impressed and so was Hera. Still can't believe this. First of all, you gods decide to have us, and then you left us here to fend for ourselves, and then, oh boy, you send us on this foolish quest in which we have to showcase that we are worthy, and then if we are too much worthy, you smite us down. It's a lose-lose situation for us. That is why I got out as fast as I could. Naruto, you're the best of my child. You know that, right? Yeah, sorry about that. That was thunder booming. If you guys heard that, yeah, the weather is kind of weird here. It's like it's soon about to be rain, and that is why this was going on. Sorry about that. Anyways, continuing onwards. Sorry for the jump scare, by the way. As now we see that Athena sighed. Why is this child so difficult to deal with? As Annabeth also was quite shocked that Naruto was making a lot of sense. Look, mother, I will only do this once. Give me a week's tops, and you will have your daughter. She's your sister, you know. Of course she is. When everything goes south, you come for me. Otherwise, you wouldn't even bother sending me a birthday present. But that's because you... Yeah, what? I insulted your ego? Because I was being rational and told you the truth that you all need to swallow? Seriously. Pathetic. Fine, mother. It's because of the bond we share and because I adore you I will do this. Nothing else and nothing more. And please make sure that Lady Artemis stays away from me this time around, said Naruto with a look of disgust on his face. As they had a flashback where he not only saved Artemis multiple times for the titans that attacked them, but also saved a lot of her hunters. And Artemis would hate to agree to this, but even everyone could see that she was beginning to develop feelings for the boy. And last thing he wanted was his granddaddy smiting him down because he did something to his moon, or Lord Apollo trying to kill him. or at that, tried to mingle him with his sister, which was quite annoying to be honest. As Artemis had a huge golden U on her face, which meant that she was blushing, while Athena had her jaw dropped, and so did everyone else. He better not! Of course he wouldn't. I mean, the boy practically said that to keep her away. I wouldn't do such a thing. I know, Lady Artemis, said Thalia Grace, and she wasn't liking how this boy was. The only thing you care about is taking care of Case. And if anything, she won't bother you, I swear. Good. As now we see, Naruto within a week was able to not only locate but also find where she was. After getting inside the Romans, after tricking the Lupa, that was the guard and warden of the Romans, and getting inside the Legion, where he had to defeat one of them, and to his surprise, it was a legacy of Apollo who was quite brash. Naruto not only defeated him but impaled him in such a way that he was rendered useless completely for eternity, as every demigod as well as God flinched at that, as Apollo then said, damn. Even if Octavian was a son of a bitch, I gotta admit, that one right there is quite a cunning child of yours. He rendered him completely useless, as that is when he discovered his sister. How did you find me? Mother called for me. You're Naruto, right? Huh, what? They begin to teach about me or something? Well, yes, they have a chapter of you. Ah, great, said Naruto facepalming himself. Now I gotta go and clear up that mess as well now. Thanks, Jiran. Anyways, enough of that. How about we leave? As after bringing her back, we see that for the first time Naruto set a foot inside Camp Half-Blood for what seemed like millennia, while the Romans were still confused of what happened to Octavian. Where did that man disappear into? You know, it is quite shocking that not only was he calmly able to get in, but also get out within a week span of time. I am certainly impressed. No wonder Mother chose him as his champion. As now we see, after returning back, Naruto met with his campers. As he first thing he did was arrive where Mr. D was. As after seeing him, Mr. D said something that were quite shocking to most demigods and even the gods. Naruto, it's good to see you, my boy. I wish I could have said the same. You know, for losing all the games, I thought you would have either cursed me or something, but this is beyond low, even for you, Lord Dionysus. You made Chiron put a chapter on my whole adventures inside there? They're not adventures, kid. They're quests, and you were quite a formidable one. You not only were able to lift my ban of drinking wine at least, but also were able to do a lot of favors to me. That was because I was trying to... now that you remind me, why did I even do that? Because you love me? No, of course not. I did that because you would be lenient on the campers here and would take care of them. Best demigod ever. Please, Athena, find whoever this bastard's father is and have him. As Zeus then said, no. As now we see, Athena had a half of a mind to have this Naruto, because even if he was quite dangerous, he was cunning and as well as quite serious. If you do, I will make him my champion, said Hera. As now we see, Naruto decided to stay and then pray as well. As soon as he did, instead of being in front of Earth, he was standing in front of the Olympians. Ah, great. Thanks, Hermes-sama. Sorry, Naruto. You know, the job demands and all. As Hermes was quite shocked that his other was like this. Damn it, he was a demigod. Why were they all acting so scared of him? As that is, it was when Hermes' thoughts were revealed. Yeah, I gotta be careful around him. Not to piss him off or something. He was the one who tricked even Hercules into defeating the Titans and then killing him his own self because of the sins that he has done against Artemis and his hunters out of the goodness of his heart. As everyone else jaw dropped at that. How much cunning is he? I to be honest don't know. It was something that Athena could have fathomed, while Annabeth had chills run down their spine. A figure stature, a demigod like Hercules, who was an immortal now, was killed by his own hands by mere words from this boy. That was something, and even the crooked one was fooled by this one, meaning that this boy was seriously cunning. What can I do for you now, everyone? At least you can do is show some respect, Naruto, said Zeus, showing respect for the boy at the same time annoyance that he was here. Look, I didn't want it to be here if you're wondering why am I even here. I was brought here by you guys. I can ask you the same. Not like I wanted to come back, but my mother had a tendency to get her statue back from the Romans of all those years ago, which got my lot of siblings killed, he said, glaring at Athena, who looked away. As now we see, Naruto then looked towards Artemis, as she had a small smile on her face, as Naruto bowed and looked away while she frowned. Why wouldn't this damn mortal, this boy who she had taken interest in the millennia, would would just look at her? As now we see Naruto just rolled her eyes. As Artemis was blushing even more, while Apollo and everyone else had jaw drops. It was Artemis who was acting like a fool, while on the other side the boy was acting like Artemis. As Aphrodite then said, I must meet this Naruto, and I will have him sign his autograph here, she said, pointing towards her chest, while Ares also had a respect for the boy because of what he did. As now we see Naruto then said, the mission is done. The only thing that I think I am here is because, well, because of my mother, right? We have to reward you. No need. Just don't contact me, okay? What about if the crooked one rises? What if he decided to make you go to his side? You think I will? If I wanted, I could have sided with you guys, but I didn't. As everyone felt chills run down their spine when he said those words. What? As Zeus then said, of course you didn't. You're working as a freelancer for us. Yeah, just send me $100,000 for all the expenses that I had to incur, just to cover them. That's all you need to worry about. Oh, and don't worry. I like to enjoy my normal life, somewhat I have built, not of a hero and glorifying something. And good evening to you as well, Lady Hero. Good evening to you as well, Naruto. Please stay, I have something to take care of with you. As after everyone disappeared from the council, as Naruto turned towards his Patreon goddess, he then bowed, Lady Hero. Why is he showing respect to her and not to any of us, said Hades. Well, because he is far too cunning for his own good, and far too much boastful. It seems that he is able to get out of so much cunning situations. As Hera then said, I have a worry that Zeus might begin his cheating again. So how about this? Limp dick pill or some other stuff that you want? A seal. I know you're good at them. The ruins of the Nordic that you can read, and of the Greek and Romans. As Athena's eyes widened, even she had a hard time dealing with them, and her son was able to not only read them but also formulate seals with them. I need to have this boy, she thought, while Zeus and the others just shivered after finding out what he could do. Here it is. It's already done. Just place this on him and he will listen to you and not go and stab his dick into anything he sees. He is the king of the gods, boy. You should respect him. He will have my respect when he respects my patron goddess. Otherwise, to me, he is still an immature god who has been granted too much of, well, stuff to the more he can handle. As after that we see Naruto return, and soon he was stopped by Artemis. Why would you not answer my question? For you I am even ready to break my maidenhood. Wow. Listen to me, Lady Artemis. You need to remain pure. I remind you again that if you don't, said Naruto with narrowing eyes, there would be consequences. Even chaos will befall on you, and that is something that I don't want. And to be honest, I'm trying, as you can see, to distance myself from this whole situation between you and the Titans. I don't want to be a part of this. I wish to enjoy my life like a normal child. Heck, I even asked them to make me into a mortal and make me forget everything if they want me to. But they just don't listen. My mother, in all her righteousness, thinks that I am still too important and needed. I don't know why, but yeah. I can guess it's because of her ego, or because I can read ruins or whatnot. Or maybe I can save her children that she has, that whenever she gets into trouble. As Athena frowned, because, to be honest, that kind of seemed like quite a nice thing to have, but at the same quite a headache. As Poseidon grumbled at that as well. As after that, Artemis sighed. Even if you don't agree to me, just listen to me. What if I separate my... Listen to me, Artemis, with all due respect. I'm not interested at the moment. I wish to have a normal life and die. You will turn into immortal, and knowing you, if you get attached to something, like you have gone attached to your hunters and so, you will, for sure, find a way to make me immortal, which will be a living hell for me, and then, you know what? Eternity of this mess. And that is something I don't wish. I wish to grow old and die peacefully. Now, thank you for your time. I'll be leaving. And with that, Naruto left Olympus, and soon enough, he said goodbyes to Chiron and Mr. D. And soon enough, he was back where he was. As the book flashed, as the book was closed, well, everyone had a serious expression on this face. Athena, you're not thinking of having this child, do you? But look at him. I mean, He basically is what Artemis wanted if she ever was to see in a man. And not only that, he is also quite good at what he does. Not only fooling the crooked one, but also Hercules. It's something you should know. I agree, Athena. If you wish to have a demigod, this one I approve of. Enough. We will continue. Pass the book here, said Zeus, as he wanted to find out about his son. And so, the book opened, and once more the screen glowed, and this time Naruto with lightning blue eyes was shown, and this time in the arms of Hera of everyone else, as he was just a young child who was confused, at the same time quite shocked. As that is when everyone was shocked. Why would I hold your demigod if he is your son? As that is when it was revealed that it was a demigod child between Zeus and Hera. Wait, how does that even work? As that is when Zeus then read on and explained to everyone. It turns out I was again in human world, and so was Hera. I met her by accident. She knew who I was, so she went along with it. And both of us had him. As after reading this, Hera then sighed and smiled. Of course. Now he's much more endearing to me. This one is by far my favorite so far. This is only the second one, said Athena with a deadpan. As now we see, Naruto was on Mount Olympus, and he had just helped out his best friend from high school, Percy Jakson, to complete his first quest, which was to return back his father's lightning bolt, which he was quite shocked that his father lost. I mean, his mother was telling him that he was quite, well, irresponsible, but this took the cake for even him. As now we see, Zeus then said, Naruto, my boy, I'm proud of you, but Dad, with all due respect, he's the one who did that. I just helped him out. Yes, the sea spawn did that, we get it. You don't need to worry about anything, Naruto. You're special than them. How so? You're our demigod. What now? How does that even work? I mean, from what I've heard from Chiron, demigod is when I turn myself completely into mortal, said Zeus, and Hera remained somewhat a goddess hiding her aura, and once we made and you were born, you are our son in the end. As that is when everyone looked towards Hera, as she had her eyes widened. As Aphrodite then said, Congratulations, Hera, on having your first demigod. Well, he is kind of mine and Zeus' child, so I guess I'm okay with that. So am I, said Zeus with a smile. Not only that, turns out Hera had a whole album of Naruto when he was growing up in the orphanage, and also when he was having a nice life. And not only that, his life was shown as he was told to move into Olympus by his mother because she wanted to smother him with love. And turns out even his brother, who was being manipulated by the crooked one that they had beaten, had also taken a liking to him. Why? Because Naruto was able to take a punch and also fight with him in his godly form. As everyone was shocked. Seriously? Best brother ever already. And not only that, Hera was quite happy at the same time to see that Hephaestus was also taking liking to the boy, seeing that Naruto was also there helping him out and asking him questions about the things he were working on. And this was also appreciated by Hephaestus as well, because someone in the damn family cared about him for the first time. As everyone looked towards Hephaestus, who was just tinkering with a grunt, as Hera felt her eyes filled with guilt and tears, as Zeus and Hera looked towards one another. Yeah, maybe they should try to have this Naruto as their own as well. As now we see, that is when the screen shifted to see that Naruto was running away from Olympus, as a lot of goddesses, especially like Athena, Artemis, as well as none other than Hestia and Demeter were running after him, and they had some girly clothes in their hands. Since they found out Naruto's ability from Hera was to transform, and he could transform into animals as well as a female version of himself, they wanted to dress him up, and Hera was also amongst the pack until she disappeared and arrived in front of Naruto and grabbed him. No, my son, you're not going anywhere. You better turn back into a daughter that I always wanted, and now let us have our fun. And so Naruto did, and he was quite embarrassed that his sisters and his mother, alongside his aunts, had their fill, as Naruto was shown wearing a traditional Olympian female dress, as he was looking down in blush. As Hera nodded, yes, approved. I will be having my first demigod, it seems, Zeus. Yes, honey. as Zeus was now for the first time shocked, at the same time scared for his poor boy who wasn't even born. As for Thalia and the demigods, they were just laughing and snickering. Who knows, maybe Jason, you would also look nice. Don't, please. As now we see. After that, the book flickered, as in the end it was seen that Naruto, in groom clothes, was running away, while the hunters chased after him. Because this time Naruto and Athena were going to be married, as Athena's eyes widened. How so? Because Athena and Naruto, because of Naruto's unpredictability and Athena's, well, geniusness, were able to make a good odd one out couple. And yes, Athena had to swallow the hard pill to realize that she had fallen in love for the first time with this demigod. As now we see, Annabeth was amongst the hunters who was saying, "Don't you dare defile my mother," while Artemis was chasing after him because she wanted her little brother to know that her sister wasn't going to leave them. By them, I mean Artemis, Hestia. There will be three virgin goddesses. As Naruto then said, "Please, please, Artie, you have to realize that I didn't want this. My mother and Athena, for some reason, have come up with this." As that is when Fates halted him and tied him up. And so he was dragged back with a tied up Artemis and the hunters as well. And so Naruto was married to Athena in a sense. As that is when their even first god children was shown, which was Boruto, who was like a mini Zeus, but much more filled with livelihood and whatnot, which Hera and Zeus, well, fawned over, as did both of the uncles. As that is when the book showed the final picture of family, where Naruto had a smile on his face while Athena was hugging him, while they had their son in front of him that was also standing with a bright smile and grin on his face, while Hera and Zeus were on the both sides. That is a beautiful picture, I must say so myself. As after that, the book closed. As now we see, Zeus then said, "Who wants to read next?" And so it came turn of none other than Hermes, who was quite excited. "I want to go, I want to go." As now we see, as soon as the book opened, Naruto was seen with all seriousness standing in front of a broken field. As in front of him was his father, who was mortally wounded. As on the other side was his brother, who had done this. Turns out, in this timeline, the Crooked One and Luke's plan worked, and they had overthrown Olympus. Hermes still wanted his boy to forgive him, but he couldn't. As Naruto was standing there, "You're an idiot, Dad. You know that? Why did you do this, brother? You know why I did what I did, Naruto. Look, I was tortured, even close to being brought to raped by some people. And yet I didn't hate him. When I found out that I had a family, I was happy. You had a family, even though it was dysfunctional. You should have been happy with that." "Let's end this, Luke." "Yeah, no point in talking, brother." As both of them clashed, as with the power of Crooked One, Naruto was being pushed back. As everyone looked towards Hermes, why was his child doing this all over again? As Hermes frowned and looked down with sadness. Would Luke really turn out like this? As that is when we see Naruto in the end couldn't beat his brother. He began to walk towards him while wounded. "Listen to me, Luke. Please. I request my brother to come back to me. No, I beg my brother to come back to me. Even if you were my older brother, you chose your side," said Luke with tears in his eyes, like Thalia, Annabeth, and the others. "They were my family too, the only family that I had. You all betrayed me. You all betrayed me," said Luke, as he was also ridden with guilt when he did that. He cried and wanted to kill himself, but the Crooked One wouldn't allow him. He was corrupting him slowly. As Hermes looked down with more sadness while everyone pitied the god and his child. As Naruto then said, "That is why I have to do this." As Naruto dashed, Luke looking towards him narrowed his eyes as there was a slash sound heard as Naruto was stabbed straight through the chest, while on the other side a golden dagger that was given to him by Chaos itself to finally kill off all the Titans alongside with Luke, after sealing it within them, was there. "I'm sorry, Luke, but I will end your pain alongside myself." "Naruto, Luke, no," said Hermes as he tried to get up, as Naruto looked towards him. "It's fine, Dad. Just know this, we always loved you." "Dad, I'm so..." Before both of them could finish, they bursted out in golden dust, and both of them disappeared, while Hermes let out an inhumane scream as he was sitting there crying. As the other gods who have also fallen to the Titans now arrive there, as they begin to reconstruct themselves. How is this possible? As Zeus, with a solemn look, looked towards his son, as he then said, "Because of my grandson's sacrifice, I promise on River Satex, Naruto, your name shall never be forgotten in the history." As Zeus found himself shocking at what he was saying, he was shedding a tear for a demigod. He thought only he was capable of doing that for his own children, but no, here he was, for one of his own children's grandchildren. As Hermes was being comforted by Apollo, who was also sad. Naruto was his favorite Hermes child. He was a prankster, he was everything, but more than ever, he had a heart of gold. Athena and Artemis still remembered when they saved the poor boy from the land of elemental nations, when he was close to being raped after being brutally beaten by the people, just at the age of 5. As hearing this, everyone's blood ran cold as Hermes was ready to go and destroy that nation. His eyes were filled with fury, rage, and Zeus even was cackling with lightning surrounding his body because of what he has heard. Hera was just baffled, at the same time shocked, just what kind of fate he had endured. Well, the demigods thought that they had gotten the bigger end of the stick instead of the shorter end. Now, seeing what Naruto has gone through. And finally, the book closed. Well, that was anticlimactic. But if this is true, then your son will help us finally end the Crooked One and all the Titans, said Athena. No, I have had enough. I won't have him. Saying this already filled my heart with guilt. And no, I won't let such a tragedy befall on both of my boys. Of course. As that is when it was given to Apollo. As after a moment of solemn silence, we see that Apollo opened the book, and there it was, Naruto resting on a bed in New York City. As he was, there was a bright sunshine coming out of the window. As Naruto said, "Dad, you suck." As now we see, right next to Naruto was Zoe Nightshade, his wife who he had married. As Artemis was looking at this with shock-filled expression, he could still remember, as he chuckled, how Athena tried to kill him before and alongside with Artemis, but it was Hestia who stopped both of them. Why? Because Zoe and Naruto, even if they came from different worlds, they were akin to one another. Both of them had been betrayed and detested the other gender, but in the end, it was because of them finding solace in one another they have gotten close and even married, with the blessing of Hera herself, because she was the goddess of marriage as well. And through their union, they also had a daughter named Himawari. As now we see, Himawari arrived inside the room, as she was wearing the tiara that her mother used to wear. As now we see, "Mother, father, Aunt Artemis is here." As Naruto immediately shot up, as Zoe also got up and said, "Himawari, what are you doing here? Get up, you two. I'm here to talk to my ex-lieutenant and friend. It's good to have you here, Lady Artemis." Yeah, go ahead and talk all you want. Jeez, I don't get it. You're my aunt and all that, but you're still antsy in seeing me. I mean, you approved of this, did you not? Even if I did, I will never forgive you for what you have done. You have taken my friend away from me. Look, I didn't take her away, basically, as Zoe glared at him. "Yes, ma'am, I'll be leaving. Do you want anything? I would have the cookies that you have been saving after you took them from me." "Fine, here you go," said Naruto, grumbling, because these were the sweets that he lived and died for, and would even kill for. They were Aunt Hestia's, with Mother Reha's, as well as Hera's cooking, all combined together. It was his cookie collection that he rarely, ever so rarely enjoyed, with hot cocoa. As Artemis narrowed her eyes, "Okay, this one I hate the most." "Hey, come on, sis, he's your nephew and all that." "Yes, your kids have a tendency to piss me off way too much fast than I can remember." As now we see, the other guards just sighed at this, as Naruto came downstairs and began to prepare the breakfast. As after having that, Zoe came down, as she was wearing the same suit as Artemis' lieutenant. "Zoe, I'm sorry, Naruto, but I have to leave. Duty called and all that. The new lieutenant, Thalia, has been taken." Alright. I mean, that Pinecone had had it coming because of her hot-headedness. Enough. You won't insult my lieutenants. Oh, come on, Auntie. I'm not insulting any one of them. You know that. Curse my father if you have to. Hey, said Apollo, as he couldn't take it. His own child was throwing under him the bus, but he had a smile on his face. Why? Because he knew he had way too much personality like that. As that is when Naruto then heard a voice from within, as his eyes glowed golden. And turns out it was the fated Titan of Sun, Helios. Jeez, kid. You and Apollo's tendency to just piss our Artemis off is something that I can live by. To this extent. Hey, is he for real? My son is 10 times cooler than any of your hairs now, said Apollo, as everyone just grumbled at that and rolled their eyes. As now we see. After that, the book closed once more. What? Come on! Well, you lost your chance. Now who's gonna read? How about I will? Said Ares. And so, they found Naruto. As soon as Ares opened the book, in a formal suit of a general. As right now, there was a war going on in the Asian continents. And Naruto, who has established his own country after the name of his father, who nobody would expect was a loving and adorable father of his, had started a war to conquer the whole world for him. As everyone's jaws dropped, as Athena smacked her head. Of course he would. Your child would. Who else? As now we see, Ares then arrived. Yo. Hey, Dad, what is it? Well, kid, I have a little bit of problem in Mount Olympus and all that. What? Isn't grandmother and grandfather enjoying my present that I've been sending them? No, it's not that. Well, yes, they're not. The sacrifices that you're making in their name, even though I enjoy them, they don't. Of course, please don't do that. What is this? 15 BC or something? Of course they wouldn't. So what is it they want? They want you to stop, son. Do you? Nah, I don't. Go ahead and have fun. After all, this is your domain and your playground. Wait, what? Said most of the guards. Why would you say that to your child? Beats me. Turns out it was revealed later in the book that Naruto, son of Ares, have done them great job. He not only killed the crooked one, but saved the gods from being swallowed as a whole by him again, alongside with Mother Rhea. And this deed enough, he requested for the first time to unleash his killer intent on the world. Obviously, Zeus wasn't going to allow it, but the Fates did, by giving him and granting him his own playground in which he could reset and do all the things, basically being a god in his own right with his pocket dimension. Okay, so he's in a pocket dimension. But the people that are there are in a simulation. A pocket dimension is a simulation, Annabeth. As Athena was the one who said this. As now we see, Ares then said, even though it's a pocket dimension, they still find it quite annoying that you're sending them here. And Lord Hades, well, he says that his work is increasing tenfold, so yeah, stop that. Fine, okay, I will. Jeez, so much for Ares countries and all that. Yeah, but who are you gonna beat next? Who else? Apollo's country that I built. That's my boy. After conquering it, you can do that. Huh. It seems that only in pocket dimension you can beat me, you brute, said Apollo, as Ares gritted his teeth. But my son whooped your country's ass, didn't he? As that is when the book disappeared again, and this time appeared in the hands of Poseidon. As then, when Poseidon opened it, he found that Naruto was standing in front of Amphitrite inside Atlantis, and not only that, Poseidon was bowing down in front of his wife as well, and his son Triton. As Naruto was being glared at him, look, brother, you can call me that, Olympian, since you're my father's child, but mark my words, one disrespect and you will be dead. Yeah, I don't wish for your throne or anything. I'm just happy to have a family. Look, ma'am, if you're mad at him, it's okay, I understand what he did. Naruto, not cool. You don't throw your own blood under the bus. Jeez, Dad, if you would have been able to control this, this wouldn't have happened. You wouldn't have been born, you idiot. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. Look, I promise that he won't do this. Really? And if he does, then you can grant me any punishment you see. And for after that, we see Naruto did a lot of services for Amphitrite as well as Triton, and even won the favor of whole Atlantis and Olympus at the same time, alongside with the underworld. He has been hired by the big three over and over again, and a lot of other gods have also commissioned him for a lot of, well, quests. And so far, he is the most renowned demigod in the whole, well, two camps of Camp Rome as well as Camp of Blood. As now we see, Naruto was then called back to Atlantis, where he saw that his father was bowing down again when he was born. Oh shit, he said as he saw there was a kid standing there. Turns out it was his little baby brother. And Triton was not happy again because unlike Naruto, he was just way too much out of line. As Amphitrite and Kushina were standing there as well, alongside with Sally Jackson, who sighed at the woman. Yeah, it's not your fault, we understand that. He has a tendency to not being able to keep it in his pants. I am actually sorry. If I would have known that he's married twice, I would have. Wait, what? Said everyone as they looked towards, well, Poseidon. It turns out my both wives got along very well. As that is when it was shown that Naruto's mother in this one was Kushina with red hair. And she was best friend that Emperor had, much more than Hera or any other goddess up there. And she was also best friend with none other than Hestia herself. As Hestia smiled, because she was regarded highly even there. As now we see, as Empress looked towards her fellow concubine and said, Kushina, are you okay with this? I mean, I am not feeling well at the moment, but this mortal did slept with our husband. Look, I did as well, but you were able to forgive me, and not, I told you, not like I knew that the blockhead was married and all that. I mean, they don't technically reveal that they're gods before they bang us or anything. As Poseidon was looking down with blush, and so did many immortals, while the girls just laughed at that, and even Hera had a laugh because she knew what the woman was saying was correct. As now we see, Amphitrite groaned and said, of course you would say that. Listen, I don't wish for her to be punished, okay? I'll owe you a favor. Oh, your son already does. You don't need to worry about that. Oh, Naruto, come here, she said with a sweet smile, as Naruto gulped. Yes, my lady. You know what you have to call me, right? Yes, mother, Amphitrite. Now you must fulfill and you must marry the goddess who has been demanding you marry her. Who would it be? Hades' daughter, Melanie, who else? As for Persephone and Hades' eyes widened, oh, poor boy, they said, as Naruto groaned and looked down, and then narrowed his eyes and said, curse you, Dad. Because of you and your almighty libido, I'm here, you perverted baka, said Naruto, because he was Japanese. As Poseidon groaned, as Percy and the demigods alongside his brothers were laughing at this. But Hades, he had a tendency to hold grudge. So you're gonna back out? Said Amphitrite with narrowed eyes, and Naruto flinched as his own mother's eyes narrowed. You know, Naruto, Uzumaki's don't back out from their, well, promises. Of course they don't. Yes, I will marry Melanie. And soon enough, Melanie, the ghost goddess, arrived and then took him to Underworld, where Naruto then only whispered two words, help me. As now we see, for a whole decade they didn't see Naruto until he arrived out of nowhere there one day, and he was looking a little bit palish. And Naruto looked a lot more thin than usual. Naruto, oh my god, what happened to you? I have just had the most amazing and worst time of my life. As many of them blushed when they heard that. She is a freak in the bed, but don't get me wrong, I enjoy that, but the thing is that she doesn't allow me to leave the chamber. She thinks that I'm gonna go around and do what her father and you guys do. Jeez, Dad, thanks for having the vote of confidence of everyone else. Why do I get thrown into the bus here? Because you couldn't keep it in your pants. And for the first time, Poseidon cursed, because him and his rebellious nature was passed down to his sons, especially Naruto, more than even so than to Percy. Talking about Percy, he and Sally Jackson were allowed to live, and not only that, a happy life as well. As now we see, Naruto was living with a goddess of his own, while Percy and Annabeth had been going to marry soon. What about Percy? I heard that he is going to marry soon. Really now? Said Kushina. Why didn't you tell me that? You were at the time away with our husband, I guess, to Japan, visiting the shrines and all that. And Uzumaki ruined grounds. Oh, I see. That figures. Sorry about that. As Amphitrite frowned and sighed at her friend. Even if she loved the girl, sometimes she was just annoying. As now we see, The book closed. Well, I guess mine one had a lot of family drama. One thing's for sure, if I am able to find this Kushina woman, of course you would, said Hera. I hope Emperor Ted punishes you this time around. Not the Kushina woman, said Hestia, as that is when the book appeared in her eyes, in which she was shown, and everyone was shown that Naruto was born from fire, as he was handed her to her by fates as her stomach grew and she gave birth, like Hera and the others did, making Naruto officially her child. Zeus and the others didn't like that much because her sister was supposed to be, well, virgin, but the fates comforted them, telling that she was a virgin, but a virgin mother. And so, Naruto, being the youngest and the newest of the millennia of gods, began to live there on Mount Olympus with his mother, who was a way too much of a protective move, so much more than so than even Demeter, might Naruto say. Why? Because no matter how hard he trained with Ares, Hephaestus, or hanged out with his brothers, or even learned from untrained with his sisters, such as Artemis taught him how to hunt in the wild and survive. As for Athena, she taught him all the history and whatnot. He still had to be wary of the big three. Why? Because they didn't like him that much. But that changed when Naruto helped their kids out, and not only that, also sorted a lot of their mess out whenever they began to fight. As now we see, Naruto one day was called there in the council room where all the gods were seated. As Houston said, Naruto, you are brought here to be given a domain and make have a seat in Mount Olympus amongst us. Do you wish to accept? Um, I think I will decline your offer. As everyone was shocked. Is he an idiot or something? Said Dionysus, as Hestia frowned. No, I think he is not. To me, you all are my family, as mother would say, but I think that I rather not sit in Mount Olympus. If anything, I would just be fine with over there on the hearth with mother. I mean, we both tend to enjoy sometimes your, bickering. Seriously, sister? Said Zeus as he looked towards his sister, as Hestia chuckled at that. Of course, brother. I usually tend to enjoy your bickering that you do with one another. I see. As then, it was shown that Naruto was given a throne whether he liked it or not, and so was Hestia as both of them seated down next to them. As Hestia was looking at Naruto with a smile, thanks, my son. Usually sitting on the ground tends to get quite boring and discomfortable. Not that I mind, though. As they looked towards their sister, who looked a little bit sheepish, and so Zeus snapped his finger, and there was a throne forced, as all the older Olympians looked towards their oldest sister and said, We're sorry, Hestia. Why didn't you not tell us? Why? I didn't want it to already add to the burning fuel to the already burning fire. I knew that you were all busy dealing with the messes that has been created, but I guess you wouldn't care. Thank you, I guess. You're our sister, and you always tend to us whenever we need help and need some counseling. Of course we would help, Hestia. As after that we see, Naruto was forced to join the council, as Dionysus was the next one who said, while Hephaestus wanted to go next. And so Dionysus was shown as he was drinking in a bar, as a demigod was near him and he was fidgeting left and right. Naruto, Sama, please tell us your answer. Huh. So you want me to join the Crooked One and his army against my dear old daddy and everyone else on Mount Olympus? Correct. Yes. As Naruto then said, Parsley, why do you even want me to do that? My name is Peter, not Parsley. Yeah, whatever you say, Pamper. As after that we see Naruto then looked towards the woman that was there. Hey, lady, can I have this mug? Of course you can. We'll add it into your tab. As Naruto broke the mug with a smile and then stabbed it into the throat of the demigod of Apollo that has gone astray. Oh shit, Apollo said, while everyone just looked towards Dionysus, who was just chuckling. Isn't he cute? Ares nodded his head. As now we see, Naruto then said, Oh goody. Time to go and have fun, while the woman and the others screamed in horror, as his eyes rippled in purple, and then time stopped. As he began to move out of the way, suddenly an explosion occurred, due to a gas leak, quote unquote. As everyone's jaw dropped. Can he do that? Who knows? I think he actually did. As now we see, Naruto was heading towards none other than Camp Half Flood, because it has been millennia since he arrived there. And once he did, the campers all paled, and even Chiron did. He was close to fainting and was beginning to pray to everyone. As he looked towards Dad, Dad, I'm home. As everyone chuckled at that. As Dionysus then said, Naruto, my boy, of course you are. Chiron missed you so much. Aw, but I wanted to hug you. You know the rules. You have to hug out Chiron, and so Naruto did, breaking a few bones of the champion. Trainers of the champion. I missed you too, Naruto. Please, can you let me go now? Ah, party pooper. So, why are you here, Naruto? I heard that the granddaddy was going to war with the great granddaddy. As thunder boomed, as Zeus himself appeared there. You will watch your tone, boy. Ah, granddaddy is here. As Naruto felt bolts running through his body as he was gripping Zeus. As Zeus, in this iris image, was trying to get away from me, you stupid boy. You will die otherwise. As Naruto, who was smoking now, then said, Ah, nobody loves to give me hugs. So, what is it you want? There are a lot of demigods who have gone astray. We wish for you to find them and put an end to them. You know what? Here you go, kid. Take this, and even if you can, kill the Titans, for all we care, or die trying. Ah, come on, he's my favorite, said Dionysus. Of course you would say that, since he's my child and god of madness and all that, right? Yeah, that one is a loose cannon. As Naruto after that left for a whole year, and a whole year, there was no prophecy, there was silence. As once Naruto returned, he was carrying a huge trolley made by a Titan, all by himself, while singing the lyrics to his own anime opening. As now we see, Apollo then said, he's breaking a lot of fourth walls in this. As what they saw was on the carriage was the cut off heads of all the Titans, even their own father, as Naruto was just enjoying his walk there. And as soon as he arrived, even the monsters dashed away in fear of this monster. As now we see, Naruto then said, Oh, Daddy, dear, I'm home. And once his dad saw what his son has done, he had a smile on his face. Ah, goody, Naruto, my son, you're back. I'm proud of you. As Zeus and everyone else arrived there in their true forms, looking towards the boy who has just caused this madness. You know what you have done? Just did what you asked me to do, old man. How come I never been able to make you happy? Look, you just killed all the Titans. You're way too strong. Are you threatening me, old man? Look, I enjoy being your grandson and all that, but if you threaten me, there will be consequences. Naruto, now calm down. And Dad, you have to realize Naruto did us a favor. And he's too far gone to try to overthrow us, right, Naruto? Of course, I love you guys. Why would I do that? Besides, I'm what? 5? I don't even want to rule over a kingdom of gods who are nothing more than miserable. See, he agrees with us, while everyone winced at Dionysus as he began to laugh. As Ares had huge respect for this kid. Dionysus, even if we don't have our kids, you need to have your kid. As I will. As everyone looked towards the both, as two of them nodded at one another. Of course they would agree to create such a monster. As Houston said, what is the reality that he wouldn't do this to us? Come on, Granddad. Jeez, ease up a bit. Why would I do that? And besides, he looked towards none other than Hestia as he licked his lips. I have someone I like here. Why would I do that? As Hestia groaned, as her other self giggled and looked away. As everyone looked towards their sister, as Artemis and Athena said, Aunt Hestia, are you? I don't know, to be honest. He's way too much of a loose cannon. I don't get why my mother likes him, I guess. As Zeus and Poseidon and Hades then said, no, you wouldn't. Come on. Your daughter also wants to have a go with me, but I don't even want to. He said, looking towards Hades. Of course, Melanie would. As he then looked towards the others. Geez, fine. I will stay away if you want me to. Bye, Hestia-chan, he said, waving at her before dodging huge amount of lightning bolts thrown at him. As he then said, see you later, old man. And keep your dick in your pants this time around. I don't wish to go around saving your demigods. As a lightning bolt struck him. As he then said, yow. As now we see everyone begin to laugh at that. Someone who was such a loose cannon that he didn't care. And strong enough that he was able to wipe out the Titans. As now we see Zeus fidgeting. Don't you dare have that boy. Actually do, but have him weakened so that we can kill him once he does the deed. Jeez, Dad. That makes me not want to have him all together. I mean, where's the fun? Look, they're having fun. Your other is having fun, not us. Now hand over the book to the other one. As that is when we see Hades was the next one. Turns out he and Persephone both were turned into mortals and had a mortal son named Naruto. A clear-sighted one though, but yes, Naruto nonetheless. As Persephone and Hades smiled, but were quite scared that their son was able to see monsters and was, well, still human. But the ending came when it was found out that Naruto sacrificed himself in order to protect his sister who had joined the hunters, and not only that, also his siblings. And for that, Bianca left the hunters and hated Artemis ever since, as Artemis looked down at the girl who was quite shocked at this. As Nico, the Angela was also quite shocked, as Zeus and Persephone glared at her. If something happens to my son because of this, there will be consequences. Calm down, husband. I think she has realized, said Persephone. As that is when it was revealed that Demeter also had a boy who was a farmer and he could grow trees, becoming the tree sage, and he ate a lot of cereal. Nothing new, he helped them out and made a peaceful garden which he run, where his mother usually visited a lot, and even tried to get into his own pants, which was quite annoying to him, but he could handle it because he knew the Greeks were just weird as fuck. Hey, we're not that weird, said Apollo, as the others also agreed to that. As Demeter was blushing, I mean, her son was a hunk, and he was her ideal partner, as Persephone then said, alongside with Hades who was smirking, Mother, don't get freaky, please, as she looked down with huge golden blush on her face. As now we see, the final turn came when it was Artemis and Hephaestus. Hephaestus had a go in which his son turned out to be a street racer, and not only that, an illegal one. And he had a car that was able to transform into a mecha robot, to the point where he was a huge Gundam, and that helped them out in order to defeat the Titans, a robot titan of his own, fighting against them made out of celestial bronze and gold. As the others were impressed, nothing could be expected shorter from your son, Hephaestus. But the cherry on top was that Aphrodite fell in love with her own husband's son, her stepson, as Naruto was now quite shocked, at the same time quite baffled by this. Even his father was, and tried to best to protect his son, while his uncle Ares, even though he respected the boy, didn't like this. And Naruto assured him that he didn't want it to do anything with the goddess of love, but in the end, goddess of love was able to trick the three of them and was able to sleep with him even when he was granted immortality. And so now Naruto was stuck with his scornful uncle who hated him, and his father who ignored him as well. In the meantime, he had a lot of redemption to gain, all thanks to the Lady of Doves who couldn't keep it in her pants as well, turns out. Oops, she said, giggling, while Hephaestus and Ares were just shocked. Their son wasn't at fault here. Turns out their wife was, and girlfriend was, but they hated him. As now we see, on the other side, when Aphrodite's turn came, she was found out that Naruto had become the ruler of Olympus by turning every goddess into his sex slave, and his mother married him in the end, while the other gods were fated. As her story was the darkest one, as she was having a thought about it. No. We will make you fade before you even think of that. As the screen showed, various Aegyo expressions of the goddesses, even Hera as well as the others, were there, as Naruto was standing there with a sinister smirk, while his mother seated next to him. And to be honest, Aphrodite was getting wet because of that. As now we move on to Artemis, where it was found out that her son was hated by her hunters and herself, and Apollo was watching over him nonetheless. He even was being watched over by Zeus as well. Why? Because he was a grandson that he was quite odd one out. A broken-hearted one who was just kind to everyone else, but didn't say anything to anyone. When even Zeus tried to smite him, he just looked down and didn't say anything in his defense. And to be honest, it got the best of him out of curiosity. As now we see, Naruto was camping away from all the civilization away because he thought of himself as an abomination. As he was looking at the moon, his eyes welled up in tears as they followed suit. As he heard his mother's words, "You're nothing more than an abomination. Shouldn't even exist." As Naruto looked down, as that is when he sensed that someone was sitting beside him. It was Lord Zeus. As his eyes widened as he bowed, "I apologize, Lord Zeus, I didn't know. Sit down, boy." And so Naruto did as he was told. "Look, I'm not gonna sugarcoat this and say that your mother loves you and all that and is watching over you. She hates you and detests you. Not her choice that you were born forcefully out of her. Even when she said that she didn't lay with a man. And to be honest, I believe her. And I believe you as well. You have helped us out a lot. And in the end, you demanded nothing. Not even your mother's attention. Not even when you came to with Hermes to the party that was held on Olympus. Even though I took offense to that, you begged for my forgiveness and all that. And I realized why you did. I apologize, Lord Zeus. I didn't mean to, well, bring my presence there because it causes nuisance to many people. Look, boy, you have done a lot for us, as I was saying, and I wish for you to be amongst one of our ranks as a minor god. If anything you can grant me, it would be I would be happy if it is that. I don't wish to live in a world where my mother hates me because I was just born. As after learning this, Artemis was shocked, as everyone glared at her, and even Zeus did. Artemis, I must say, even if the boy is kind of an abomination, but you have gone too far. How could you detest your son like that? As if I just scoffed at his mother's word, as she had guilt in her eyes as well, realizing what she has just was filled with hypocrisy because she had thrown him off of the mountain as well at one point. As now we see, Naruto looked down and said, I wish to die, if anything else. Look, son, I can't kill you because Hades, he wouldn't take you there. He has huge respect for you, and so do we, many of us, even if we don't wish to admit it. Even I'm here to say that you're not alone, son. You have someone, me watching over you. You are one of my people. As Naruto's eyes widened, as tears welled up in his eyes. But then he looked down. I appreciate that. You don't trust my words. It's not that. I appreciate the sentiment. It's just when your own parent hates you, the only parent that you know exists here, and everyone calls you abomination, especially her, while looking down at you. It it tends to hurt, and you tend to be cautious of people. You took that from me, I guess. Listen to me and listen to me well, Naruto. From now on, you are a minor god of nature, a spirit and deity who will be respected by all. This has been granted by us, all of us in the world. Did she? She didn't. I know she wouldn't. As Artemis was now really frowning. Just how badly did she hurt her own child? She wouldn't do that. If anything, she would be a great mother. As now we see. While the other guards were sad, Apollo was close to crying. Why would you do this to him? As he was serious, not his joyous self with tears in his eyes. Look at him. He only wants your love and attention. He was born, you kicked him out. And now he is here, all alone. Even father feels bad for him. I must say I really do, said Zeus, while the others also agreed to that. As now we see, Naruto then looked towards sadly with a smile on his face while tears were in his eyes. Look, Lord Zeus, if Olympus ever needs my help, I will be there. I don't wish to take immortality. As Zeus eyes Naruto, you wish to fall in a battle, boy. You know that even then you will be revived again. Hades won't take you because you saved not only his children but also his wife from the Titans. And I am more than already enough in your gratitude, knowing that you have done us great deeds by bringing back my daughter who was taken by that Titan, as well as dealing with the monsters and making sure a lot of demigods got there safe. Even if you do her deeds, she won't acknowledge you, but we do. That is something that I have to live and die with. I appreciate the offer, Lord Zeus, but I think that my existence, which is an abomination, should just perish. Think about it for what I have said, Naruto. We don't wish to lose you. As after that, Zeus disappeared with a thunder boom. As now we see, Naruto just slept there, and when the sun rose, Apollo arrived there, and he was not looking happy. How long are you gonna stay here like this? He was mad at him. Hey, uncle. Naruto said with a small smile on his face. What is it? Your mother, she's... What happened to her? Said Naruto with a worried-filled look. She's forced to hold the sky by Atlas. She was taken. I I went behind the back of father's word. He warned me to not tell you about this. But I know that only you're the one who will be able to save her. The others who might try will perish. Bianca and the others will. I won't allow that to happen. They have nothing to do with this. If anyone should, it is me. No! Even you shouldn't. And promise me on River Sadix, Naruto, you will return to me alive. I will try. No, promise me. I swear on River Sadix that I will return alive to you. As the thunder boomed, acknowledging it. And so Naruto was sent off. As now we see, once Naruto arrived in the battlefield, Artemis glared at him. While still doing so, Naruto defended his mother and fought off against the Titans, as also fighting Atlas, who was wounding him badly. I still don't get it. Why do you side with them? She, being your mother, doesn't want to acknowledge you. Even if she doesn't, I acknowledge her as my mother. She means the world to me. She is my world. And even if I have to die today, I would die happily, knowing that in the end, I was able to do one thing good to her. Save her from you. And so, the other Titans also appeared there and a battle commenced. Due to the Apollo blessing as well as the others, Naruto's weapon began to crackle with all of their elements as he struck down the Titans. His wounds began to grow even further and beyond, fatigue kicking in, but even in the end he stood there. As now we see, Naruto jumped and shoved Artemis away while holding on to the huge sky on his own weight. You have to deal with him. I apologize, Lady Artemis, but please, leave this to me, said Naruto. He was heavily wounded and was now lifting up the sky, as he was in deep pain and agony. Naruto gripped himself hard and made him in a position where he would remain. As now we see Artemis, with the help of her being free, she turned into her true godly form and took down everyone. As in the end, her heart was worried because she could sense Naruto's pulse weakening. No, said Artemis, while the others looked wide-eyed at this. They were sad that such a fate would be of child of hers. As in the end we see that Naruto was standing still as Artemis was finished. As before she could get close to him, because she couldn't sense his power anymore, there was a bright light and Apollo appeared in front of him. As Artemis then said, "What is the meaning?" But her words died down when Apollo looked at her with hate-filled glare. As Apollo and everyone else's eyes widened. "Don't you dare get near him. You hear me?" he said with disgust and hate in his voice. "Not after everything he has been going through. Now you realize that he's not breathing?" "Naruto, you promised me you would come back alive. I'll be damned if I lose my nephew. Please," said Apollo. "Answer me, god damn it." As that is when Zeus and the others arrived there as well. As Apollo looked down with sadness as he wiped hidden tears away, Naruto had a small smile on his face, because he realized that his mother was sensing him, seeing that if he was alive or not, before he passed away. As Naruto was then lifted from the sky as he fell down to the ground with a thud, Apollo held on to him and cried, wailing in agony that his nephew has perished. As that is when we see Zeus look towards his daughter with hate-filled eyes as well. "You're not allowed to visit his grave or speak of his name even. I'll be damned if you do. You have done the most heartbreaking thing I could ever imagine from you, Artemis. I did not knew your hate for a boy would grow so much, to the point where you would detest your own son." As now we see, Aphrodite was also standing there, with tears in her eyes, as she glared at her rival. "I curse you and your hunters. All of them will fall in love and betray you. In the end, you will be left alone, Artemis. Even every man you fell in love with will break your heart, and no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to sire a child," said Hera with hateful detest. "There was a blessing from the fates, and you threw that blessing away. Chaos itself is enraged at you because Naruto was its champion." As this shocked everyone who was reading and watching the story. Not only was he the champion of all of the gods, but also all of the primordials as well. As now we see, Naruto's body began to wither and vanish in golden dust. What is going on? As Apollo's eyes glowed, as he held Naruto tightly to his chest as tear fell. No, please, please, no. Don't take him away, Lord Chaos. As in the end, he was taken. No. As Apollo fell down to all of his four and shedded tears. The demigods were shocked at what they were seeing. It was a sad, cruel fate that he had endured. As the other gods were also shocked. What happened to him? Said Apollo, as his eyes were red now, and so were many others. As Artemis was just looking away with sadness engulfed mind, handwritten with guilt. Even if it was her elder son, how could she do that? How could her other self do this? She detested the thought. As it was then Apollo who revealed. As chaos is embraced, what has you done? He said, looking towards with Naruto-filled eyes that were still shedding tears towards Artemis. And she has brought her champion back. And has punished us for not being able to see him or hold him, but eternally miss him. As after hearing this, all of them were left with shock as Artemis fell down to the ground and was close to passing out, but nobody cared because she brought this upon herself. She was the one who hated Naruto the most, and now that he was gone, she missed him. As after that we see the book disappeared as the screen vanished. As all of them were quite in thought. As Athena wanted her Naruto, while the others did for the same, while Artemis, she wanted more than ever her Naruto to be born, who united everyone and saved her. She was gonna smother him and shower him with love, not like her counterpart who missed the opportunity. As the fates then did something that shocked them all to the core. Their all Narutos were there, the ones from the stories that they have seen. Hermes, Artemis, and Apollo, and the rest dashed towards their son. Well, what is going on? Why are there other me's here? As Artemis looked towards Naruto, who flinched and looked down, while the others were having a good time with their own son. As Artemis then didn't say anything but hugged Naruto tightly, as Naruto welled up in tears and hugged his mother. I missed you, Mom. I missed you too, my son. As in the end, it was happy moment for all of them before that fates arrived and told them that this story was from their all future, as all of the Narutos combined form into a single Naruto, the god of different times, as it was revealed that he had each and every one of the essence of all their demigod children becoming a god himself, as all of the gods were happy at this. At the same time, knowing fully well that they had a new addition to their family of gods, Naruto himself. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this movie off, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, and follow me on my Polo Chica channel as well. As this is it for the day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.